the things which you are going to learn today in data, the representation, the kind of data sets and stuff like that, it is fine if you don't understand it first time, because many of you are school students, many of you have never done Python coding. I will today give you a bit of complete flavor, but then we will cover these things slowly. And we'll cover it through real examples. And there we will also again explain and learn what we are going to do, okay? So data, let's come to the, again, so data is number, information, words, or images. Like it's an information, but in the form of number, words, images, all these things. In the last class, we looked at simple example of like data can have two different things. Our study, it's exam score, and this is how we represent it. This is in Python, okay? But all these things in Python, we kind of looked at, like another example, we're storing numbers. You can define some simple things. So ये जो सारी चीजें तुसी देख रहे हो, all these things which you look, let me name it more formally further, okay? That all the things which we looked in the last lecture, the list of things, okay? So we will run this Colab notebook after we looked at some formal things. So again, you can write your questions in the chat, and I'll again come to like these things. So in Python, let us talk about the data sets, the first step in AI, right? So we have seen simple numbers. These numbers are called variables. So the simple numbers are called variables. So the color of Python here, which you see like sky blue, little like that color, is actually also the color here. These are Python terms: variable, list, arrays, dictionary. We will only need these things. We will play with variables, list, arrays, and dictionaries. And sometimes we'll play with pandas. So you don't worry if you don't know these things. We will take a look at examples and we will learn these things so that we can start creating now. We can start creating the first step and move to the second step of AI, training of AI, defining AI, right? So there are simple numbers in dataset, like we saw 1.0 to all these simple numbers. Then we have a list of numbers, which means many numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a list of numbers. List is a Python word which means that there is like more than one number. We also will look at many numbers like images. Images are internally stored as numbers, but they are often stored as arrays or list. You can store images often as array or list, okay? Then see, numbers can have different forms. Like, so even text is a number, but text is a special number. So there is a mix of numbers like dictionary, or you can store them as tables. So let us look at some examples and then you will understand a bit. But today you don't need to understand this fully. It's fine if you don't understand this fully, but this is just a starting part, okay? So we will use two libraries today, Pandas and Matplotlib. Pandas is a library to write tabular data, tables. When you create tables, right? You can create table in a notebook, right? That's what Pandas can do. But this will be table in Python. So in the table, you can store so much data. And Matplotlib is actually to visualize the data, to see the data, to make charts, to draw figures like this figure, these kind of figures you can draw with Matplotlib, okay? ਆਪਾਂ ਦੋ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀਜ਼ ਅੱਜ ਪੜਾਂਗੇ, ਪਾਂਡਾਸ ਤੇ ਮੈਟਪਲੋਟਲਿਬ। ਪਾਂਡਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਟੇਬਲਸ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਪੀ ਤੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਬਣਾਏ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਸੈਂਪਲ ਟੇਬਲਸ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਟਪਲੋਟਲਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਟਾ ਵਿਜ਼ੂਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਲਾਈਨਸ ਬਣੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਬਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਮੈਟਪਲੋਟਲਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਬਣਾਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੋ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀਜ਼ ਪਾਈਥਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਝਾਂਗੇ ਓਵਰ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ। ਹੁਣ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ? ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਪਾਈਥਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਡ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਰਿਟਨ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਡ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਨਾ ਪਏ। So we can actually use these things directly, okay? For example, this is a list. The list is used to store multiple data points. Like you're storing 25, 30. This is a list, okay? We can store, for example, daily temperatures in the list. ਇਹ daily temperatures ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ weather model prediction ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ AI ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ temperature ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਜੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ, like at 12 PM, at 2 PM, at 3 PM, what will be the temperature if you know the past list of temperatures, right? ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਸਟ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਿਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਰੱਖੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। this is how you define the data. This is one type of data. ਇਹ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰ ਡੇਟਾ ਸੈਟ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਫਾਈਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਡੇਟਾ ਸੈਟ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੈਦਰ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਜੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਵੈਦਰ ਮਾਡਲ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਗੂਗਲ ਦੇ ਮਾਡਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰ, ਰਾਈਟ? How many of you actually have used that weather models and all which tells you the temperature variations? So these kind of things we can create. This is a very simple example I'm showing you. They use more complex data sets, but this is a very simple starting point, okay? For example, dictionaries. Dictionaries means that now you just not have just numbers, you have two things together, like A and B, like Alice has 85 scores, Bob has 90 scores, Charlie has 78 scores. So when you define student name and some other aspects with it, right? So dictionaries are storing pairs, two values they store. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਪੜਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਡੋਂਟ ਵਰੀ, ਬਟ ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਇਜ਼ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਵਿਚ ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਲਰਨ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਡਾਟਾ ਸੈਟ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਮਾਰਕਸ, ਮੈਪਿੰਗ, ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। So this is something also which is used by many online portals when they store students or store something with the pair value, okay? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਡੀਪਰ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਦਿਆਂਗਾ in next few lectures. Today just introductory part, the dictionary is something which we will use, okay? ਪੈਂਡਾਸ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ। ਪੈਂਡਾਸ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਸਟੋਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਦੀ ਕਾਲਮ ਆ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਦੂਜੀ ਟੇਬਲ ਦੀ ਕਾਲਮ ਸਕੋਰ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਡ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਰਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਬਟ ਪੈਂਡਾਸ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਸਭ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੈਂਪਲ ਡਾਟਾ ਸੈਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੋਰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਰੇਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਕੱਲ ਰੇਨ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸੋ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਟ ਟੁਮਾਰੋ ਵਿਲ ਇਟ ਰੇਨ ਔਰ ਨੋਟ, ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਡਾਟਾ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਯੂਜ਼, ਲਾਈਕ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰ, ਹਿਊਮਿਡਿਟੀ, whether it rained or not in the past, like with this temperature and humidity, and tomorrow what is going to be expected temperature and humidity, and you can predict whether it will rain or not, okay? ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ AI ਮਾਡਲਸ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਰੇਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਰੇਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਮਾਡਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਲ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। This is the kind of thing which we have, like temperature ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹੈ, humidity ਕਿੰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਆਪਾਂ rain ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ rain ਨੂੰ learn ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, and then tomorrow we can predict it whether yes or no it can rain or not, okay? Another example, for example, you want to predict which team will win. Like in this one, it's very easy. The team which has score highest is the winner. Like 5-4, matlab A is the winner. 3-6, matlab B is the winner. 8-2, matlab again A is the winner. So this is the kind of another data set which is again a pandas data frame. A table बन सकता है इस चीज का कि पहले टीम ने कितने लाए, दूसरी टीम ने कितने लाए. This is the table, right? This is a Python code. It's very easy to understand. So now let me actually share that Colab link with you all. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ run ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। और मैं लिंक ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ share ਵੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। I'll share the link with you also. You can also run it if you are using laptop. But first let me run it and then you can run it. I'll share it with you all, okay? So let us first start further with the simple example which I was trying to tell you, that in this Python, this is like the list of temperatures data set. We can just run it like, and it will take a few seconds to connect to the machine, but then it will say what is the today's temperature. First thing to note here is the temperature is list of numbers, and you can access the first number using 0. Index always starts at 0 in Python. Index the matlab hai jive pehla value 0 to start hunda hai, the second value 13 you want to see, then that's temperature 1, okay? Tomorrow and in other lectures, like in the tomorrow, I mean the next lecture, we'll a little bit go further deeper. But list is something where you can define many numbers together, okay? What is the meaning of all these things? We'll cover it again and again so you will understand it. Print function is used to tell us to show it on the screen, like you see here on the screen. This is a print function which is showing list examples. Let me change it. This is a lecture. And if you run it again, like it will just show this is a lecture. So whatever you write here, it will come. And sometimes we can also use it to print the numbers, okay? ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੇਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨੋਟਬੁੱਕ ਤੇ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਸੀ, there are two values. There is no other way to create that this is a dictionary. You just define it differently, like with brackets. So list ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ define ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਆਹ ਵਾਲੇ brackets ਨਾਲ, which you see here, like square brackets. This is like curly brackets, like it's not a square bracket. So that's how we define a dictionary, okay? And if you start writing two values in it, it becomes a dictionary. And Alice has a 85 score. So if you want to output from a dictionary, you just put the key inside Alex and it will give you the number out. Then there are tuples, which we didn't look in the slides, but tuples again, you have a different bracket type like you see here. And now you can define latitude, longitude coordinates like the map which you see. And pandas, like when I said you table, right? This is how the pandas table look like. That this is the table of the pandas, like there is two columns and then Alice 85, Bob 90. This is student scores. The tables are often very much used because it's a structured data. Table ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂਗੇ, AI train ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਇਹਦਾ. Weather data again which we saw, whether the pandas the table ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, like what you see here, okay? So I think this more like concludes it. There are like other more things which are there in the notebook. That sports data which I was showing you, which team wins. Like if you create a table from pandas, like it will, this is how it will show you that there's first column, second column, and so on. Let me stop here and let me ask few things. How many of you are seeing the Python code for the first time in your life? like you have not done Python coding before, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so don't worry, I expected that. uh, how many of you actually have done a little bit Python coding? You write in the chat if you have a little bit done Python coding in the past. Okay, there are people who have done it. So people who have done it, it's good. But in this class, I will go a little bit slow, so to make sure that people who have never done it can actually follow it. Uh, before we conclude the lecture, I want to again repeat 2-3 important things. So if you have never done Python coding, no need to worry. So the Python coding which we will do in this lecture, that will focus on these things. So main goal of this lecture, apne Python coding, the main goal hai, will define simple numbers and we will define many numbers. ओके सो पाइथन कोड ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਨੰਬਰ ਦਿਖਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਡੀਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸੈਟ ਆਫ ਨੰਬਰ ਮੈਨੀ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਡੀਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਰ ਇਨਫ, these two things are enough to take care of 99.9% of AI that we need today. Actually there are other complex data structures which we don't need. ਡੇਟਾ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਡੇਟਾ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਨਾਲ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਨੰਬਰਸ ਨਾਲ, ਸਿੰਪਲ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਸੈਟ ਆਫ ਨੰਬਰਸ, ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਇਨਫ ਫॉर us to do the things. To do this, ਆਪਾਂ ਦੋ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀਜ਼ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। Pandas library, like you saw, we can create tables. It's very easy. Like over time, I will share with you examples. You will understand it. ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ visualization ਵੀ use show ਕਰਾਂਗੇ Matplotlib ਨਾਲ, so you can actually know what is there in the data. Okay, ਇਹ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।